companies cut nearly 140,000 jobs in 2026, while committing hundreds of billions to data centers and AI infrastructure. But these layoffs aren't all the same. Some are direct automation, yes, but others are corrections for pandemic-era overhiring, removals of management layers, or simply shifting money from payroll into AI capital projects. The headline, "AI caused the layoffs," can be technically true, yet entirely incomplete. Most imagine automation as a direct one-for-one replacement. A worker leaves and a robot takes their chair. But companies don't need full replacement to reduce headcount. It's about team compression. If AI helps each person write, analyze, and respond 20% faster, a team of 10 can become a team of 8 while maintaining the same output. AI hasn't replaced the profession. It has simply compressed the team. Decisions are often made on expected productivity, not just proven results. If executives believe AI will soon reduce the need for labor, they freeze hiring, combine teams, and raise targets for those who remain. The technology doesn't need to be perfect today. Management only needs to believe it will be capable tomorrow. That expectation changes budgets instantly, meaning the worker can lose their role before the technology has fully absorbed the work. AI infrastructure is extremely expensive. Data centers, specialized chips, and high-tier engineering talent require massive liquid capital. That money has to come from somewhere. Reducing payroll in one department often finances the AI investment in another. This is relocation, not replacement. A job disappears not because a tool mastered it, but because the company decided that future growth depends more on infrastructure than on the current staff structure. There is also the investor trap. When one company claims AI has made them leaner, investors reward them. Competitors, fearing they'll look slow or technologically behind, follow suit with their own cuts. Economists call this the AI layoff trap, a competitive race that pushes firms to remove more labor than is optimal for the economy, purely to satisfy the market's demand for immediate efficiency. This doesn't mean AI is just an excuse. Routine tasks are being automated, but when you hear AI influence the layoffs, you have to ask what that actually means. Was the work absorbed by software or by the remaining humans using software? Was it a budget move, a management flattening, or just a restructuring story branded as AI? These are very different situations for workers and for the broader economy. To assess your own risk, ask 3 questions. First, routine. How much of your work is repeatable digital tasks? Second, ratio. Could one AI-enabled employee handle the work of several? Third, responsibility. Do you own the decisions and the customer relationship? AI can assist these roles, but companies still need someone to answer for the outcomes. The goal is to build evidence that you can use AI to improve results, not just compete with it. So why are companies laying off workers before AI can replace them? Because full replacement isn't the requirement. Expected productivity, team compression, budget reallocation, and competitive pressure make cutting first appear safer than waiting. The immediate threat isn't an empty office run by robots. It's the same office with fewer people, higher targets, and AI built into every single role. The headline tells you what happened. The system tells you why. If you want to decode the technology affecting our jobs and our future, like and subscribe to Decoded in 5. Until next time, keep looking beyond the headline.